When a human heart fails, you gotta do chest compressions. When a gun heart fails though, you gotta bring in an 18-meter tall defibrillator within an 800-meter radius of the heart and do chest compressions. What is going on guys, MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the P-Bandai high-grade Gundam Lfrith Anavata from Gundam the Witch from Mercury Vanadis Heart. Derived from the Buddhist term for perfect enlightenment, Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, whose first three kanji is pronounced Anakta, it possesses a blade-wielding fighting style and electrokinesis abilities, piloted by a mysterious girl only known as Yoshika. The high-grade Lfrith Anavata is made up of 6 runners and a small sticker sheet, and if you've been an avid follower of the high-grade G-Witch line, you'd find some parts familiar. Indeed, besides the effect display base, 2 of the runners are reused from the original Lfrith, so the build will feel somewhat similar despite the new armor pieces as it surrounds the all-too-familiar high-grade Gundam Lfrith frame. There's nothing much to elaborate on the build beyond that besides the potential nub marks on the blue and dark grey pieces. As a beginner-friendly, short and sweet build, typical of G-Witch high grades, is what shall await you. A complete high-grade Lfrith Anavata results in an interesting looking high grade. To me, it's always a bit fun to see how designers would work around the restrictions of a completely different design language, and I think the Anavata is a natural blend of both JNT heads and Ippei Gyobu's styles. The high grade represents that aesthetic quite well, the fiercer face and rougher armor pieces being faithfully sculpted, possessing plenty of surface detail to bring out as per Gyobu's style. I especially like the fins on the shell units and the giant turbines on the heels, as they look very unique. Part separation is just as impressive as before, with stickers only used for enhancing the eye and head sensors, besides filling in the circles in the abs and the shell units in both modes, none of which are necessary because of the separate UV reactive eye and sensor piece, and the fully engraved shell unit details, so you have the liberty to paint those in whatever color you want. Speaking of painting, the only missing paint details are the red rims on the Vulcans and the yellow lights and grey detail on the thighs, though what really needs correction is the blue and grey if accuracy is the aim, since they are quite a few shades off. Moreover, the seam lines on the thighs and the one large nut mark on the chest shell unit are not visually appealing. Though despite the blemishes, the high-grade Lfrith Anavata still looks great out of the box and lives up to the original high-grade Lfrith. For the casual builder, you'd be satisfied with just the snap assembly. Articulation wise, there's an L-shaped double ball jointed neck, and a ball jointed shoulder sockets that connects the ball jointed shoulders. The shoulder armor can swivel up to make way for calling the teacher, there's a bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, and ball jointed wrists. The ab crunches are somewhat flexible, while the waist can rotate all the way. Full front splits and sidewards kicks are achievable, there's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and clip jointed feet with a ball jointed ankle piece, and individual toes and heels. Finally, the beam guns are on 2 ball joints. Articulation of the Lfrith Anavata is generally identical to the standard Lfrith, while the solid structural rigidity minimizes worries in posing, though the head online is a bit loose while the knee armor and beam guns can dislodge easily, so it might be worth fortifying those connections. For accessories, the Lfrith Anavata comes with a set of holding and open hands, which is a pretty decent selection even if just for dynamic display. For weapons, those start with the beam guns on a backpack that can flip up for use. Though the party piece is the Gurenge shield. Besides acting as the unit's defense, it also houses the Narukami swords, which can be used in a claw-like fashion by rotating the entire unit forward. Speaking of which, the Narukami can also be drawn and sandwiched into the hands for use as standard swords, or as regular gun bits using this weird adapter for the G-Witch display base. Alternatively, they can be charged with electricity by swapping out the blade piece, and one of them can be launched out electromagnetically with an effect part that plugs into the pommel and the open hands, supported by an included effect part base. It does take up quite a bit of space, but it is an innate and impactful way to display a sword as a gun bit, or displaying both of them channeling the power of Electro for maximum weeb energy. In terms of leftovers, you get the original shoulder, knee, and ankle armor, as well as the original head frame. It's not enough to revert the kit back to the original, but I guess you can find some use out of them. To be honest, I'm tired of mobile suits that are armed with ranged bits and only rely on beam spam, so when the Gundam Lfrith Anavata first debuted with melee gunned bits, I was enamored, and especially ecstatic knowing that a high grade would be coming out of it. Now that I've built and posted the kit, I can certainly say it's a good high grade, featuring impressive visuals that resulted from a beginner-friendly build, while possessing ingrained shell unit patterns for the painters and electrifying effect parts to add some extra flair. The mix of designs is also interesting, and the high grade certainly reflects that well too. However, besides the color inaccuracies, the one thing that lessens the experience is a few loose pieces that, while not detrimental and very easy to fix, certainly impact the posing experience minutely. Otherwise, the high-grade Gundam Lfrith Anavata is essentially the original kit with a bit of blue and gyobu and armed with a pair of electric swords. Regardless of if that's your thing, this high grade will not fail to impress. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.